As the 2023 PBA season is almost officially at an end, I thought it would be a good chance to look back on the season. There's the Strike Derby taking place this weekend, but that's a non-title event, but it will bring an end to the 2023 season. It was just announced the 2024 season will begin with a major, the PBA Players Championship. In today's video, we're going to look back at every single winner of the 2023 PBA season. There were some players that dominated all year, taking home multiple titles, and others that bagged their first titles of their career. With so many events, sometimes you can forget who won, particularly the smaller events, so let's begin and run through all of the winners this year. We started the season at the end of January with a major, the US Open, and it was EJ Tackett that took home the title. This win for EJ would be only the start for him, and it set the tone early on. We then saw three regular title events in February. Firstly, the Springfield Classic that was won by Sam Cooley from Australia, and this was his second title of his career. EJ was back in the winner's circle almost immediately during the third event of the season, the Shawnee Classic, and already he's making a big statement with his performances. Then we had the Wichita Classic, which saw another very familiar face, Anthony Simonsen. Outside of EJ, Simonsen probably had the best season of all bowlers, as we will see as this video goes on. But he basically was never outside of the top 10 during almost every event. The final of the Jackson Classic took place on March 9th, and surprise surprise, it was EJ Tackett who won his third title in just 5 weeks into the season. We then had the second major of the year, the Tournament of Champions, and it was another very familiar face who showed us all just why he's won the most majors in PBA history. I am of course talking about Jason Belmonte. This win came against the red-hot EJ Tackett and was Belmo's 15th major title. A week after the TOC, we had the Kokomo Classic, which saw Packy take home his first ever PBA title. Straight after this, it was another major event, this time the USBC Masters, and Anthony Simonsen showed us all why he's one of the best in the world right now, making it back-to-back USBC Masters wins. April saw the start of the 14th edition of the World Series of Bowling, and it started with a non-title event, USA versus the World, and it was the World team that triumphed. This team consisted of Don Barrett, Sam Cooley, Jesper Svensson, and captain Jason Belmonte. There were 3 animal patterns during this year's World Series. The Cheetah Championship was won by EJ Tackett, of course, the Scorpion by Jacob Buttroff, and the Shark by Matthew Ogle. The World Series came to a close with the World Championship, and the title match was considered by many to be the greatest in recent memory. It featured 2 of the greats of the game, Belmo and EJ managed to get his revenge this time to win his second major of the year and his 5th title of 2023. This win marked a season-long performance that was simply out of this world. Straight after this, we had the 5th and final major, the PBA Players Championship, and this was won by Kevin McCune. McCune put in a very impressive display to win his first ever title, taking down Jacob Buttroff in some style. Now we go to a doubles event, which is a PBA title event, and it was Packy who entered the winner's circle for the second time this year alongside Mitch Hoope. As May marched on, we saw the PBA Super Slam take place, although this is a non-title event. Jason Belmonte came away with the win, but it did not add to his ever-growing collection of titles. There was then a 1-month break until the PBA Tour Finals, which saw the top 8 players of the points list battle it out, and it would be Carl Troop who would win his 10th Tour title. Another non-title event followed, the Skill Ball Challenge, and this consisted of the top 8 players in points from the 5 classic events throughout 2023, and this was won by England's Don Barrett. The second doubles event of the year took place at the end of July, although this time it was a mixed doubles, and it was Anthony Simonsen alongside Danielle McEwen who took this one home. It was Simonsen's 3rd title of the year, and in terms of overall performances, it was basically only EJ Tackett that surpassed him. He would probably have been a runaway choice for Player of the Year if not for EJ. Now we approach the very end of the season, and the PBA went international, heading to Sweden for the Lucky Larsson Masters. It was AJ Johnson who would finally get his first PBA title after a number of second place finishes. And finally we had the PBA League, and although it's not a title event, it's still made for excellent viewing. The Waco Wonders put on an incredible showing with standout performances from 60-year-old Parker Bone III and Ryan Simonelli. There's the Strike Derby taking place on the 22nd of October, as I mentioned, but this is a non-title event and it includes an 8-player field selected based on the number of strikes thrown throughout the 2023 season. But to me, it doesn't particularly count as much of an event, although I still probably will give it a watch. And there we have it. Those were all of the winners throughout 2023. It's quite interesting looking back and seeing exactly who won. As I mentioned, there were obviously some very dominant performances, mainly from EJ and Simonson, but there were still quite a few other players who managed to get a look in, and a handful of players who managed to win their first title as well. It really won't be very long now until the start of the next season, and it'll be really interesting to see which players are able to carry through the form into 2024. But as always, I expect to see quite a few shocks and surprises as the year goes on. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this season, probably more than any other season in the last few years. There were so many memorable moments and close matches, and I think the match at the World Championship between Jason Belmonte and EJ Tackett really will go down for many as one of the greatest matches of all time. And that is going to bring us to an end of this video. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. Let me know what your most memorable moment of the 2023 season was. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I really appreciate all of your support, watching all of my videos, commenting, etc. Thank you so much for all of your support this year. And as always, thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.